Yes. So we're going to study a very important topic, that is in speaking, when we are trying to convey our ideas, there is one important aspect that we need to understand before actually starting this topic. Most of us have this issue of not being able to explain things and are stuck at certain times where there you are not able to proceed and prolong in a better way. So you have set of ideas somewhere at the back of your mind, and you are not able to express that. And that is one area that we all need to get through. Here in IELTS, there are bit of tricks involved, and we will go in series about it because we need to understand what actual problem needs to be sorted out. Okay. So here we start with the uh, so this is called fluency markers. Let us understand what is fluency markers. Fluency markers are words or phrase. They are words or phrase to make speaking sound more natural. So your speaking is more natural, and you are able to convey your ideas in a better way. Sometimes you get stuck and you are not able to proceed. And that is one area that we have to sort out, because when you are speaking about a certain topic, you happen to be stuck with certain things, you can use some phrases or words that help you to proceed further in a better way. We will understand the aspects well in this, and this is called fluency markers. So we got to know that we are going to deal with fluency markers. Fluency markers are something that is very essential, as I said, and it gets you to a natural way of saying that. Like as we read in this sentence, you will not get to a higher score if you don't know how to signal your answers and how to combine or link your sentences together. This is the very important aspect, how to signal your answers, and how to link or combine your sentences together. So let us understand how to signal and how to link our sentences. We are going to see some examples, and one of them is however. You see this here. However, however is one of the words that is used very efficiently, so that you understand that this is something related to that I am going to signal, I am going to change something. I am signaling that I am going to change something about the present way of conversation. The till now, I was having a smooth conversation. I was in a positive tone, but to add something, maybe negating it, or maybe adding some suspense to it, I use this word however. So that gives you a more range when you speak. This is however. So understand that this gives you a rather very amplified way. Fluency marker. So this is one thing that you have to focus. Okay. So let us be very clear with that. One of the fluency markers is however. So we see here that is Vietnam is really hot. In the sentence, we see this. Vietnam is really hot, and sometimes it rains, which is very convenient. However, it was a normal sentence. Till now, this sentence was something saying very normal. Vietnam is really hot, and sometimes it rains, which is very convenient. We are going to shift it using however. And this is the shifting task. This is the shifting thing. So what is the shifting we're using? However, let us understand that. This gives you an idea. So something positive with a suspense, something positive with a suspense, or something negative. I hope you have got it. Now let us see this. What is the suspense in the sentence? Let us analyze this. Something positive you want to say, like we are saying something, it is signaling that we are going to change the topic. Now let us understand this. Next sentence, my friend really loved to go to movie on Friday night. However, now see this. However, they hate singing karaoke. Movie is a songs are a part of a movie, but there's a twist. There's something negative. So then we say, however. So this actually acts as a diversion and gives you an amplification of the sentence. You should focus on sentences like this. Now, let us consider this sentence, which says, so we can use both these markers. Now, let us consider the another set that is called to be honest. These words can be very efficiently used and gives a natural pace to what you are actually speaking. So whenever when we are stuck at particular point, to be honest, I'm afraid, honestly, okay, you can add this word in a very efficient way, rather not interrupting your fluency. So to be honest, these are called softening phrases. These words are called softening phrases. It gives you these phrases to be more polite when we gave a negative answer. So did you like the breakfast that we had in the morning? To be honest, I was not sure about the breakfast because I don't like idli and sambar curry. So to be honest, it gives you a soft. I don't like sambar curry, sambar curry and idli. It is directly very arrogant way of saying. But when you say add to be honest, it gives that softening phrase. Understand this and try to utilize that in with the speaking. There is lot to be covered in your IELTS. Understand this. There is lot of things that is need to be covered in IELTS, but this is just the beginning. It cannot be covered in a month time to understand the whole thing and get you to a band 8. So I tell you, if you follow this in speaking, you will definitely get band 8. So, but this needs practice. Just with the scripted thing, you cannot. Now, look at this. To be honest, I don't like reading. I used to read books, my academic books, but nowadays I am not much into it. I do not like reading. Yes, so it was more honest. Honestly, I don't like reading very much. Again, a softening thing. I don't like reading. It's rather vague and arrogant. I'm afraid. I don't like it very much. Now, so see this. It's rather very arrogant way of convincing a person. But I say, adding this softening phrase, that is we call the phrase that can be added to amplify your sentence. You can add all these words. Let me underline that for you. I hope you have understood, because this is something very vital. 1, 2, 3, to be honest, honestly, I'm afraid. So this is what you have to understand. Now, you are Japanese, and how do you feel if you ask someone, do you like Japanese food? And they say, I don't like it. That is somewhere, that's what I said. Does that sound a bit rude? Yes, it definitely sounds harsh. It definitely sounds harsh. It is not a gentle way of saying. But if you add something that honestly, I don't like Japanese food very much. So that gives the softening, a better way of convincing a person that I actually don't want to proceed with it, don't like to go with it. So I prefer other types of cuisines. Now, however, now look at this next. However, do you smoke cigarette? It is, to be honest, I don't smoke. This is something very negative. In case of food, you have to be very much polite. But if you are rather a non-smoker, you should be proud rather to say, I don't smoke. You need not be very honest about it, or a rather soothing way of conversation you should apply to your sentence. You can directly negate it and should be very much honest and rather proud to say, I don't smoke. Should not use, you should not use to be honest. You should not use to be honest. So these things are negative nature. Do you, what do you call, do you take drugs? Again, it is something that is related to a negative aspect. Uh, I do not take drugs. I am against drugs. I am a pro-life. I want people to live and sustain for life. Sustain. So I am rather, I don't like drugs. So you can directly saying that. You're honestly saying that. That is something you have to be proud of. So here you need not say, to be honest. I hope you have got it. We'll move with the next part. Now, next is fortunately. These are really very great and easy words. You don't need much of practice. Uh, so let us read this sentence which says, I remember it rained heavily that day. Fortunately, I had my umbrella with me. The first part of the sentence, which said a negative phrase, I remember it rained heavily that day. So heavy rain means it is something, it rained is positive. But when we say it rained heavily, it is something because something was obstructed or something of that sort. And you say use heavily. I remember it rained heavily that day. But you use that word fortunately, again, a change. Okay. And we say, I had my umbrella with me. You see, a positive way. You are changing your conversation from negative to positive using fortunately. You can very much use it. I know you may be using it. Okay. Now let us consider the next sentence. My mother cooks for me every day. One part. It's positive. Unfortunately, she is not a very good cook. Okay. So then that is a negative phrase. But fortunately, I have my mother who is a very good cook. So I've used it very efficiently. So you understand the difference between these two, fortunately and unfortunately. You should practice using fluency markers in a combination with one another, rather, as we said, with to be honest, or with this part where we say to be honestly, I am afraid, to be with fortunately, unfortunately. So you should keep on practicing. Now the next question comes, do you enjoy reading? To be honest, I am not really keen on reading books. I am in university. Unfortunately, I am in university and my professor requires a lot of reading. You look at this. So this sentence again tells you what? A wide range of things. A wide range of things. I am, to be honest, it is a combination that you have used. You have used a combination here once. You have used a combination which says, uh, once you say used it, to be honest, and in the same sentence, you use unfortunately. To be honest, I'm not really keen on reading books. Unfortunately, I am um, I am keen in a university, and my professor requires a lot of reading. Okay. So I hope you have understood this. Okay. Now, the next part. So I just answer the question, and I use two fluency markers. It is really helpful when you are utilizing this in your normal tones, and that gives you an ambience where you are describing more in a better way. So next is actually, in fact, as a matter of fact. Look at this. To be honest, do you enjoy reading? Let us look at the answer again. To be honest, I don't like to read very much. Unfortunately, I am in university right now, and my professor gives me a lot of reading assignment. In fact, tonight I will have to read about 40 pages. We would have said this sentence without this. We would have utilized this word without this. How? We would have utilized this word with saying, uh, I don't like reading much. I am in university right now, and my professor gives me a lot of reading assignment. And tonight I have to read 40 pages. That does not give a depth to your sentence. But when I say, to be honest, I don't like to read much, unfortunately, I'm in university right now, and my professor gives me a lot of reading assignments. In fact, tonight I'll have to read around 40 books. Now, look at this. That gives you a range of words, as well as it amplifies and improvises your sentences in a very good way. It gives you the depth that is required for band 8 or 9. And that works, really works. You have to understand this aspect. Now, actually, is a softening phrase. Now, I will not go with the example, but that is meant because I'm married. So only for unmarried people, if I ask my girlfriend, baby, do you love me? She says, actually, you are not handsome, so I don't love you. So it is like not to be directly offending that person, rather being soft on the terms and saying, uh, actually, you are not handsome, so I don't love you. So instead of saying you are not handsome and being very rude and harsh in that sentence, uh, yes, you can say, you can add, so actually you are not handsome, so I don't love you. So then that's a softening phrase. So if someone asks, do you love Jovy sir's class? Actually, the sir is not good at not a good trainer, so I don't uh, love his class. So I have used this actually in between these two sentences also. He is not a good trainer, actually. Okay, so comma, I don't love his class. So you can use it in a varied ways. You can start with actually, and in between you can use it, but pause for a while and then proceed with the next sentence. How are you? You might have understood it. Now we come with the next phrase that is called however. However, however is next thing. However and but. One thing I would request you not to use actually very much, because it can be at times you are using or repetitive in nature. There are cricketers who have used this actually and but many times in their conversation, during award ceremonies. So these adds to it. So if you are adding this word, make sure that you add various varieties of these words, which gives you depth to your language. Just try using combinations of it. Now, however or but, understand that that could be a difference between now and the past, a difference between now and the future. When you use however, you have to understand you are using between now and future. Say, for example, do you enjoy traveling? Okay, do you enjoy it? Well, I truly love traveling. Unfortunately, I'm quite busy right now, so I haven't had a chance to go anywhere, but I am planning to travel to Thailand during Tet holiday. Now look at this. First, application was, let me just underline that for you, that will be better. First application was, well, I love traveling, my hobby. So we started with well. Okay, we started with well, mind it, well. Okay, well, I love traveling. Next part is, unfortunately, I'm quite busy right now. What is the present condition? I am quite busy right now. Okay, so I haven't got a chance to go anywhere. So I haven't had a chance to go anywhere. But I am planning to go abroad or planning to travel to Thailand. Future. So, however, you are using between or but you are using between a condition where you are talking about the present and the future, or present or the past. So that gives you an idea how to use it. Now, going to the beach, look at the second example. Going to the beach is a lot of fun. However, I would rather explore a big city. Now, look at this. This is conditional. It is better instead of I love going to a beach. Yes. However, I rather would love to explore a big city. Now I have added something. I would rather love to explore a big city. So that gives the depth to your language. Not just using bombarded words in your conversation is essential, but adding value with basic sentences amplifies your sentence. So mind it and understand it while you are trying to read it or trying to speak. Now let us understand. I suppose, I guess. It reminds me, this word suppose reminds me of my physics teacher who used to say every time suppose, suppose, suppose. But every time getting this repetition word is rather very awkward. So make sure that you are very precise with the use of these words. Okay. Now, that is why I keep on repeating this particular thing, because we have to make sure that things do not get repeated at any cost. However, when I am teaching, I need to repeat certain words because I have to make sure that these words get imprinted in your brain. But in case of formal conversation or during exams, if you keep on repeating a particular word, it is rather very awkward. Okay. So let us understand the next set of word, I suppose and I guess. These words are used to indicate a speculation. Speculation means a guess. So, you don't know the exact answer. Suppose, for example, just use suppose right now because that gives you an imprint always. Uh, say, for example, you don't know much about musical instruments and you have to converse or you're given a cue card about musical instruments. So you can definitely use this word, I suppose, or I guess, because trying hard is the best guess. Trying hard is the best guess, and trying using this word gives you the listener an idea that you don't know much about the topic but would love to explore more with this conversation. I hope you have got it right. So So what is the population of Ho Chi Minh City? You're going to make a speculation. I suppose there are 10 million people. So that you are making a supposition. You are making a speculation. Now, next question. What's the best university in US? I suppose it is Harvard University. Okay. So you can use these words very efficiently when you are conversing. So mind it that you use it in your conversation. You can very efficiently use it instead of using creating a lot of sounds as a generator creates a sound when its machine is active. Make sure that you use these words and get rid of those fillers, those sounds. Now, next word is supposedly, supposed to be. And these words are called stereotype words. And what is stereotype word? Let us understand that. We should understand the type of words also. Because something that you have heard is true, but you don't know, but you have not experienced it. Say, for example, I've heard that this temple has this festival every year. You don't know because you have not visited this temple, or nor you have experienced the physical festival with physical presence. So you are not sure. So this is a stereotype language. So you say, supposedly, this temple has this festival in the month of May. Okay. So there are a lot of guns while, say, for example, let us take the example of that says there are a lot of guns violence in America. If you have never been to America, you should say America is a violent country because you have never been there. So you cannot say that and should not say that. But you can say America is supposed to be a very violent country. There are a lot of things that we say with assumptions, but you have heard of it because it is true, but you have never experienced it. Okay. Or some people say living in New York is very enjoyable. You are not very sure if you are not never stayed in New York, so then you can use supposed to be. New York is supposed to be very enjoyable. Okay. Now, next word. Next, last but not the least, I have heard that some people say that it is, you have heard something to be true, but you have not experienced it. Previous one was heard, but you don't know and you have not experienced it. But here, you have heard to be true, but you have not experienced it. Vietnamese food is supposed to be delicious. I have heard that Vietnamese food is delicious. Vietnam is supposed to be delicious. Instead of saying supposed to be, you can say, I have heard that. It is not supposedly because you don't know. Okay, don't know, but is I've heard that from my friends that Vietnamese food is delicious. So I hope you have got a list of words that you can very much efficiently use. Okay. So these are the things that we should keep in mind when we are dealing with certain things that is called phrases to increase the depth in your language. I hope you have got a lot of things and lot of things that we can apply in our conversation, especially during the speaking, especially during the speaking. Okay.